Is this wrecked car my chance to own something extraordinary?
I just bought this wrecked 1974 Alfa Romeo GTV 2000. I know it might not look like it now, but back in the day, this was one of the nicest Alfa Romeo GTVs around. It was owned by the founder of International Auto Parts. He restored this car, he maintained this car, and he outfitted it with tons of performance parts from his own catalog. Stuff like chromador wheels, ported head, big carburetors, full exhaust. There's performance parts everywhere. This car was so nice back in the day, it even made it to the front cover of a car magazine. Then, one winter day, it hit a patch of ice and rolled over. All of a sudden, one of the nicest Alfa Romeo GTVs around became a car a lot of people would scrap just for the parts. But I have a different idea. If the engine and drivetrain on this car survive the crash, and I can pull all the dents out of the car myself, I could have a beautiful vintage Alfa Romeo for pennies on the dollar.
Cars like these today sell from anywhere from $30,000 to $50,000 in good condition. An extraordinary price for an extraordinary car.
The accident happened in 1997 and it hasn't driven since. Today we're going to find out if it'll start and drive under its own power. Or if there is oil in it, there is. And it's right filled to the max. And it's clean too. Good clean oil, okay? It's a good sign. Previous owner kept tissue paper in the carbs. Take these out.
First thing we're going to do is have a look at the spark plugs. If a piston made contact with the spark plugs, we know this engine had a catastrophic event and has big problems.
These all look really quite good. I've got this old battery. It might work or it might not. No promises. Positive. Oops. Maybe a little bit of a charge there.
With the battery in, we can now figure out if it'll turn over. If it can't turn over, it can't start.
Out of gear. Okay. It turns over.
Now we need to investigate the compression of each cylinder. If there's bad compression, the engine will need a total redo and will never run properly.
We're in neutral.
There's good compression in all 4 cylinders. This is a good sign, but we're not out of the woods yet.
So put a battery in, took a look at the spark plugs. They look really good. The engine has good compression. So I'm going to connect everything back up. We'll turn it back over and let's see if it'll start on some starting fluid. It was trying to. A little bit more. Oh, it runs! So it turns over, which is huge, and it was trying to run. I don't really want to run it anymore on starter fluid. I have a suspicion that the gas in the system has just totally turned to gunk. So this fuel tank doesn't look that bad, and this has actually been... I didn't unscrew this or anything. Okay. I believe this is the fuel height gauge. Lets us know how much fuel is in there. It's been disconnected. Oh yeah, you can see just how nasty.
The car will never run on bad fuel like that. We have to replace that fuel if we want the car to run.
That was a terrible idea. There was a lot of bad gas in there. So I replaced the fuel line on the high pressure side of the fuel pump and put a fuel filter on the low pressure side that goes to the tank. I've also re-plugged in the fuel pump because it was unplugged. You can hear the fuel pump. Yeah, look at that.
New fresh fuel is running from the fuel tank all the way through the car up to the carburetors.
Okay, so we have good compression, spark, because it tried to start up, clean fuel, good fuel pressure, it turns over. I've got some starting fluid. Let's try to start it up with real fuel now. Just in case things get special. I'm going to let the carbs fill with gas. Whoa. All right, one more time. She runs. Oh my God, I can't believe it. At this point, you might be wondering just how much I paid for this car, and I will reveal that at the end of this video. She runs, but she doesn't idle, and if she can't idle, that means we can't drive her. I have a suspicion that the carbs are full of junk after sitting since 1997. Let's take them apart and see what they look like.
If the carburetors are full of debris from the fuel lines and fuel tank, and they're full of bad gas, the engine will never idle, and if it can't idle, we can't drive it. You can just see all the bad gas and debris in the carburetor. I took out all the jets to have them cleaned, and put them in the carb cleaner here to soak overnight. The car will never drive properly if there's gunk remaining in the carburetors, so I use brake cleaner to blast out every passageway I could find. All of the bad gas has been removed from the carbs. They've been blown out and cleaned out. I'm now going to reassemble everything. After reassembling the carburetors, I got the car started again.
Got it to idle.
If we keep running the engine on the old oil from 1997, we could be causing some serious damage, so it's time to switch that out to some new oil.
Fuel filter out.
New fuel filter goes in. Let's get the car back outside and prepare it to possibly drive around. Before I spend any time in this interior, let's get it vacuumed out of all the broken glass and debris from the crash. While running the engine outside, I discovered a small leak in the radiator. If I want to try to drive this car, I've got to get all the dust off the windshield. I also put the hood back on to give it a nice little wash down.
Got it running, so we're gonna now see if it'll go into gear. Oh, we're moving. About 100 degrees in Boston right now.
car runs and drives. Now's the time to tell you how much I spent on this car. I spent $2,000 on the car, and given that it's running and driving without a huge amount of work, I'd say this very well could be a real opportunity to have my dream car for a fraction of the price I would be paying otherwise. In the next video, we are going to try to pull the dents out of the back of this car and get it back on the road. So follow along and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.